Each year, Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway release their annual letter to shareholders. Yesterday, they released their 2021 shareholder letter. Berkshire does this each year to, quote, report to you what we would like to know if we were the absentee owner and you were the manager. Buffett's letters often contain valuable insights and important lessons that you can use both in life and in investing. I recommend that you read his earlier letters as well as listen to their annual meetings to learn a lot more. The first page of the letter always contains Berkshire's performance relative to the S&P 500 index. From 1965 to 2021, his compounded annual gain is 20.1% versus the S&P 500 with dividends reinvested at 10.5%. This makes Berkshire's overall gain more than 3.6 million% versus 30,200% for the S&P 500. In this video, we will look at the top 5 lessons from Warren Buffett's 2021 letter to shareholders. Before we start, it's important to understand the basics of Berkshire Hathaway. The first thing Buffett writes is called, What You Own. Here he says, Berkshire owns a wide variety of businesses, some in their entirety, some only in part. The second group largely consists of marketable common stocks of major American companies. Additionally, we own a few non-US equities and participate in several joint ventures or other collaborative activities. He then goes on to say, whatever our form of ownership, our goal is to have meaningful investments in businesses with both durable economic advantages and a first-class CEO. Please note particularly that we own stocks based upon our expectations about their long-term business performance and not because we view them as vehicles for timely market moves. That point is crucial. Charlie and I are not stock pickers, we are business pickers. I believe the last part is the most important part. That part there has been the reason why Buffett and Munger has been so successful for so many decades. They think about stocks as whole businesses and not as a ticker on a screen. Lesson number 1. Surprise, surprise. Berkshire owns and operates more US-based infrastructure assets, classified on our balance sheet as property, plant and equipment, than are owned and operated by any other American corporation. That supremacy has never been our goal. It has, however, become a fact. Our shareholders should acknowledge, indeed trumpet the fact that Berkshire's prosperity has been fostered mightily because the company has operated in America. Our country would have done splendidly in the years since 1965 without Berkshire. Absent our American home, however, Berkshire would never have come close to becoming what it is today. When you see the flag, say thanks. Lesson number 2. Berkshire's 4 giants. Number 1. Insurance. There are, of course, other insurers with excellent business models and prospects. Replication of Berkshire's operation, however, would be almost impossible. Number 2. Apple. Our ownership is a mere 5.55%, up from 5.39% a year earlier. That increase sounds like small potatoes. But consider that each 0.1% of Apple's 2021 earnings amounted to $100 million. We spent no Berkshire funds to gain our accretion. Apple's repurchases did the job. On Apple's buyback, an act we applaud. Number 3. BNSF. BNSF, our third giant, continues to be the number 1 artery of American commerce, which makes it an indispensable asset for America as well as for Berkshire. I'll venture a rare prediction. BNSF will be a key asset for Berkshire and our country a century from now. Number 4. BHE's record of societal accomplishment is as remarkable as its financial performance. Lesson number 3. Berkshire Hathaway's investments and cash position. Todd Combs and Ted Weschler. At year-end, this valued pair had total authority in respect to $34 billion of investments. Berkshire's balance sheet includes $144 billion of cash and cash equivalents. Charlie and I have pledged that Berkshire, along with our subsidiaries other than BNSF and BHE, will always hold more than $30 billion of cash and equivalents. After my initial plunge, I always kept at least 80% of my net worth in equities. My favored status throughout that period was 100% and still is. Berkshire's current 80% or so position in businesses is a consequence of my failure to find entire companies or small portions thereof, that is, marketable stocks, which meet our criteria for long-term holding. Charlie and I have endured similar cash-heavy positions from time to time in the past. These periods are never pleasant, they are also never permanent. And, fortunately, we have had a mildly attractive alternative during 2020 and 2021 for deploying capital. Lesson number 4. Share repurchases. Our final path to value creation is to repurchase Berkshire shares. Through that simple act, we increase your share of the many controlled and non-controlled businesses Berkshire owns. When the price and value equation is right, this path is the easiest and most certain way for us to increase your wealth. During the past 2 years, we therefore repurchased 9% of the shares that were outstanding at year-end 2019 for a total cost of $51.7 billion. That expenditure left our continuing shareholders owning about 10% more of all Berkshire businesses. As of February 23, 2022, Since year-end, we repurchased additional shares at a cost of $1.2 billion. Our appetite remains large but will always remain price-dependent. Repurchases automatically increase the amount of float per share. That figure has increased during the past 2 years by 25%, going from $79,387 per share to $99,497, a meaningful gain that is noted, owes some thanks to repurchases. Lesson number 5. Making things clear. Teaching, like writing, has helped me develop and clarify my own thoughts. Charlie calls this phenomenon the orangutan effect. If you sit down with an orangutan and carefully explain to it one of your cherished ideas, you may leave behind a puzzled primate, but will yourself exit thinking more clearly. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Compounding Club because it helps out the channel a lot. Thanks for watching the video, and I'm looking forward to speaking again soon.